Hi guys, welcome to Chris Ryan Golf. We're on the Brabazon course on the 11th hole and we're going to do a video looking at shot shaping, and we're maybe going to explain why some of you out there will be struggling to shape the ball both ways. You might find you're okay moving it one way, but you struggle to move it the other way even though you may be doing what you've been told is correct. We're going to address a few of those issues and then go through two things that you need to try and do to leave you in a better position to move the ball both ways, as I say. So just before we do that, we're just going to look at what we actually need to happen if we are to move the ball through the air, whether it be left to right, right to left. So the first thing we need to understand is the ball to target line. So the ball to target line is a direct line from your ball to the point where you want that ball to finish. So in this situation, so on this 11th hole, let's imagine I'm trying to hit this right into the middle of the fairway. So we can imagine a target line from there. Okay, now if I need to move my golf ball from left to right through the air, I will need the path to be somewhere to the left of that target line. Okay, so somewhere over, maybe towards the bunkers on the left or even the left rough. If I want to move my ball right to left, I need to have a club path which is out to the right of that. Okay, somewhere maybe up the tree line on the right. Now, relative to that, the club face needs to be in the right position, but we're not going to look at that too much today. We're just going to look at club path. So we've got a club path which is to the left, moving the ball to the right, and to the right, moving the ball to the left. Now, club path is basically the direction that the club is travelling at the point of contact. We know that the club path in a golf swing isn't a constant, it's always changing, but as we make contact with the ball, it is the direction that the club is travelling. So if I just do an extreme example here, if I made a golf swing like this, that would be a club path which is up the left. You can see the club is moving up this way. So that's the club path, and that's what we need to have happen to move that ball left to right, right to left. So lots of instruction out there, magazines, books, YouTube videos, telling you that the best way to shape the ball is from a standard starting position, move the body to the left, that's going to move the path to the left, and then aim the body to the right, and that's going to move the path out to the right. Now that's not strictly true. It will work for some of you out there, but for a great deal of you, it won't work, and I'll explain why. So let's say, for example, I'm going to try and hit this ball straight at the middle of the fairway. I'm going to try and hit a dead straight shot, no curve. I'm going to take my starting position and I'm going to try and hit a normal shot. So it feels like my standard golf swing. Now, for many of you out there, your standard golf swing, so what you do, on the range or on most tee shots, will create a path which is not straight. So it might create, let's say, a path which is 10 degrees to the left. So my standard golf swing might have a path which is 10 degrees to the left, so out this way. From there, I'm probably going to find that most of my shots are fade shots. I will hit a couple of pulls that go to the left, and I'll certainly hit a couple that slice out to the right. But my path being 10 left is my standard golf swing. So with that being said, we're going to just work with a couple of numbers here, so hopefully this makes sense. If I want to hit a draw shot, according to the magazines and that kind of thing, I need to aim my body to the right. So I'm going to aim my body to the right, and that's going to move my path to the right. But it's not really going to do that. If I aim my body 10 degrees to the right, that means that my path, which was 10 degrees to the left, is now at 0. So it's actually straight down with the middle of down my target line. And what we've said is if I need that ball to move right to left, I need a path which is to the right. So for a golfer who's got a standard path to the left of the target by, let's say, 10 degrees, to them, simply aiming the body up the right-hand side, maybe right side of the fairway, right rough, won't move the path to the right. It will move it less to the left. And this is what I see day in, day out. So lots of golfers are standing there with, a path which is 10 left, and they stand on the range and they aim themselves, let's say 10 degrees out to the right, and they say, right, well, I've aimed myself to the right, that's going to be the path out to the right. But because their standard swing shape is something like this, their their club path is back at 0. It's down the target line, and they still can't shape that ball right to left. Then as soon as they try and hit a bit more of a fade, they open their body up, that moves that path which was 10 left, it now maybe goes 15 left, let's say, and suddenly the fade shots are out of control there, there's too much curve on them, they start too far left of target, and they've got too much, as I say, moving to the right. And what that golfer then does is kind of gets a little bit confused with, well, why can I move the ball left to right, and why can't I move it right to left, and they don't really understand that. So what do you need to do as a golfer? Well, my first bit of advice would be to try and get yourself to a pro or get yourself on a TrackMan or a Flight Scope and find out what your standard path is. So when you make a normal golf swing as you feel it, what is your club path? Is it to the right? Is it to the left? And what degree is it? That's going to give you an idea of what you need to do. So if you use me as an example, my club path is always out to the right with the driver. It's about 5 degrees out to the right. okay? So I generally will hit right to left shots. So I understand that on the golf course, for me, personally, if I aim my body 5 degrees to the left, or about 5 degrees to the left, then that puts my club path back to 0. So if I want to fade the ball, I've got to aim a lot more left than what I maybe would feel I had to. For me to move the ball a bit more right to left, I don't have to move my body too much to the right, because my path's already to the right. A little tweak in setup puts it, a bit more out to the right. So for me, I know my golf swing, I know my path numbers, I know that to fade the ball, I have to make a bigger change in my setup than I do to maybe draw the ball a little bit more. And that's really important for me to understand in competitions, in tournament play. It gives me an idea about what I need to do to shape that golf ball. The most common problem we see is a path which is to the left. So, if you can understand those numbers, you might find that you have to aim your body a lot more out to the right just to be able to put a little bit of curve to the left on that golf ball. The second bit of advice would be to try and get the club path closer to 0. Now that sounds a bit of an obvious thing, but what we will generally find is a golfer who has got a club path closer to 0 will find it much easier to shape the ball both ways. Someone who's got an excessively out to in path, maybe 12 degrees left, they're really going to struggle to hit that ball right to left, because they've got to aim so far out to the right. They start to feel really uncomfortable with how that feels. They start to feel they're aiming too far away from target, don't tend to commit to those golf swings, and it feels like too much of a change to do that. So they're really going to struggle. So the closer you can get your club path to 0, the better position you're going to be in to be able to move that ball left to right, right to left at will, and put a little bit of curve on it rather than maybe 20 or 30 yards. So hopefully that clears a few things up. Not everybody can shape the ball. Not everybody should try and shape the ball, but it's certainly a skill which, if we can master it, it does give us some good options on the golf course. We can maybe get to some of those flags which maybe look a little bit more tucked away, hit some of those fairways. This is a good example. This is quite a big dogleg left to right, so I could do with a left to right tee shot down here. This hole doesn't particularly suit me, but I know what I've got to do to try and hit that ball flight. So thanks for watching. If you like to give it a thumbs up, post any comments down below, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to my channel. All these videos are free, and they're being uploaded more content each week. So thanks again for watching, and we'll see you again soon.